Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Repentance, where today we are going to do the Red Redemption Challenge, where we start off as Tainted Jacob. We have a red key in the bottom right, Dad's key in the top left, no doors around us, and we can use the red key to traverse this floor. There is a boss room somewhere. There is an item room in a shop somewhere, I believe. I'm not sure if everything's an Excel floor or not. You might find certain rooms that you would ordinarily only find in like the downpour and stuff like that, on this floor in particular at least. And yeah, we're just gonna try to make it through, really. That red key has a limited amount of charges. When that charges hit 0, then we're gonna be in a little bit of trouble, because then Tainted or Esau will appear and start chasing us around, and that's gonna be a little annoying. I'm gonna just try to find my way to a place where I can not use the red key for a while, but unfortunately, to my knowledge, there is no real way to guarantee that to happen, so if we're just particularly unlucky, then that'll just be that. But mostly just gonna try to keep at least like two rooms in between everywhere where I'm going, really, so I can just continuously travel forward. This is an active item, which I don't care about too much, but as you can see, there is a door to my right, so I can actually continue for a little bit without having to use the red key, which is nice. Now, it's not guaranteed. Okay, I was gonna say, it's not guaranteed that this is going to lead to a boss room, but this time it fortunately did, so that at least allows us to go to the next floor. It says we have to go to the corpse, but we will just, once we leave from the, where is it? The depths, I believe. I think you will just have Mother be there on the next floor, if I remember correctly. I don't fully remember, actually, but it's something like that for sure. Also, this is a floor layout where the boss room actually has multiple entrances, which is something that doesn't usually happen. But once we are done destroying the boss, I will probably just explore a whole bunch of extra rooms just in case. It would allow us to maybe find a couple more item rooms that way. We might be able to find a shop. I believe the shops in this are basically all pretty good. At least the practice run I did a couple days ago that happened to be the case. Don't know if that's always the case, but we're gonna find out together. Baby Plum, like, look at this. This boss room has 4 entrances. I will fight Baby Plum because I do kind of want to keep Dad's key. I don't know how much, but I wouldn't mind just stat ups more than not stat ups, obviously, even though the Lord of the Flies transformation can be fairly valuable. I'm just gonna hope that this works out. We have a decent amount of bombs, actually. We're probably not gonna use bombs for secret rooms and things either, so I might actually use a couple on bosses here and there as well. That is Squeezy. Just gonna leave the soul hearts here, but that does give us some extra tier rate to work with. I don't know how much I really need to explore, I suppose, since I mean, if we just believe in ourselves, then obviously what can go wrong? But I think you can find stuff like angel rooms and things, and devil deals probably in these red key rooms as well at times, so it is kind of worthwhile to try and go for that. I don't think those flies can actually remove charges from your things either, which is kind of nice. I will try to kill these next to the Fool's Gold here to save some bombs. That should be fine. There we go. Whole bunch of extra coins. The bomb's destroying, well, at least one of them, so that's kind of nice. And yeah, in a second we're just gonna keep on traveling. I recall reading something that if you clear like 5 more rooms after you make Esau appear, then he'll appear a second time. And when I did a practice run, I did have that on the later floors, but not immediately, so we might just go all out on exploration on this floor. As you can see, there's a downpour floor here. Also, you cannot get I am error rooms through the standard red key method. In this particular challenge, those exits have just been disabled. So that's a little unfortunate, I suppose, because getting an I am error room on every floor would significantly make the challenge easier, I'd say. But that's fine. Telekinesis, we're only finding active items, which is not ideal, but fair enough. We did manage to find 2 item rooms, which I'm going to count as a win, if I'm being honest. If you can find any sort of mapping, the challenge also just becomes so much easier, but Again, that is not exactly guaranteed, but it certainly would be nice. Once we are actually lowering, like getting to the point where a sow spawns, I'm probably only going to start opening the doors just in rooms I've already explored, because that way I can just keep opening doors without really any trouble. We are finding basically every place that doesn't actually require me to use the red key, so that's actually really nice. Ordinarily I would like to find some mapping, and that's why I'm really trying to explore it in the hopes that I can find a shop as well. But if I can, that's fine. It's not exactly ideal. Yeah, just a lot of adjacent rooms. You can be really unlucky in this challenge. And I really, to my understanding, it really is just kind of luck-based. You just kind of have to find your way through and hope it works out. Like, worst case scenario, you just have a bunch of sows chasing you around, and obviously that does get a little bit overwhelming after a while. But as long as we can avoid it, then I'm okay with that. There is another boss room over there. There is 2 per floor, I do believe. I don't think there's more than 2, so it is nice that we at least managed to find that, because boss room items can be fairly useful. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a Devil Deal Ranger room to open up here, but I think on the next floor we might. I really don't fully remember how many floors this was. The downside of this challenge is the times I've done it, I've usually just been lucky enough to win. So I'm kind of hoping that just happens again. Not guaranteed, of course, but definitely going to do our best. There is a sacrifice room on this floor and a lot of red hearts, so I might actually try and go for that. Just going to leave that alone. We'll just bomb you because you died to that pretty much instantly. And that was no exception. There's a lot of soul hearts on the floor as well, so that's really nice. That's even more tier 8. A lot of tier 8 so far. Pretty much best case scenario out of boss rooms, I suppose. Some damage would have been nice, but I definitely appreciate what we're getting so far. A lot of money as well. So if we can actually find a shop, that would be lovely. We'll just explore a little bit here before... Basically, I will probably just explore to the point where there's one more room left. That is an item room with yet another active item, but... I mean, it's an extra item room, so I can't really complain too much. Plus, it's part of the Lord of the Flies transformation. Plus, it would be the thing that I would have gotten had I just fought Lil Plum without attacking him. So, all in all, probably should have just done that, so I would have gotten a different item room item, but you can't exactly predict that such a thing is going to happen, so fair enough. Yeah, I think this is going to take a little bit of a minute, but we're going to just go to the sacrifice room here, because it's a fairly safe floor for now. And I don't hate the idea. I really have no idea where my shop is, but I also just don't really have a guaranteed way to find it, of course. Might do like a few more rooms sort of nearby here, just so we might get a couple of extra hearts just on the way to the sacrifice room as well, if they drop. Unfortunately, that one didn't. You can kind of tell when the item is going to run out. Fortunately, every time you use it, it isn't too hard to see, with the bar going down fairly consistently, so that's good. I think I can do, yeah, one more, and then after this one, I'm pretty sure a sow spawns. We got 2 sacrifice rooms next to each other, which is interesting. I don't know if they are linked to each other. They are not. They are separate sacrifice rooms. Great, I guess, if that's a thing that I would have liked to do. Wouldn't have minded getting a little bit more health, like just red health on this floor as well. Because this does require a little bit of walking, but ultimately this can get you to just a really nice and safe situation if you're lucky with it. So I'm hoping that that's going to be the case. That's at least like a key and some bombs. I just need to make sure I don't run into some spikes or something along the way, but I'm fairly sure there weren't any. I am saying with an increasingly higher pitched voice, so I'm feeling confident that we're just going to be okay in that regard. But also, I just really like to have an item. So far, we have 2 boss room items because every single item room had an active item in it, and that's just not great. That's not something I want to risk. So, yeah. We can take either exit from the boss rooms as well. There's both boss rooms have an exit to the next floor. Doesn't really matter which one you take, to my knowledge, so that's good. There is a golden chest there, and I'm not sure if I can actually grab it. I'm a little bit tempted to go in that direction in a second just to see if there is something I can acquire there, because golden chests can have really good things in them. You are blessed. Great. That is a teleport to the angel room because we are blessed. Truth be told, I'm a little tempted by Genesis, you know? Just because we don't have much of a build going on, but also, I did say I wanted Dad's Key, but truth be told, it doesn't do that much. It does not really affect your life that significantly at the end of the day. That's Fade Retro. That's also known as yet another active item. So that's really good. Trying to think if there's even a reason to keep putting hearts in there, because we could get a bunch of soul hearts, we could get a bunch of money. Both of those obviously not too terrible. I just don't know if I can be bothered because the rewards just aren't that super exciting, unfortunately. I'm tempted to move on just because we're not really getting much of anything right now. With moving on, I of course mean opening doors wildly in the hope that I can just find another room to go into, which I don't know how helpful it's going to be. I don't know if the angel room that you can find is basically the same as the one we just teleported to with the red key there, but I'm not really too bothered either way. We'll see if it works out or not. I was tempted to take a shortcut there with the red key, and I might still do that. I could do one room with Esau just there, I guess, and then we can create a pretty significant shortcut to get to that other item room. And then we're basically where we need to be. So let's just do that. Let's just have some fun. Esau should appear here any second. He's appearing in another room, so that's fine. Not really much of a danger there. We get 2 more red hearts. Yeah, we really could have gone all out on that one room, but it's fine. This might hurt me, yeah. Didn't even really try to dodge that one. Yet another soul heart. Like, health-wise, we're good. We have a lot of tier rate. We just don't have a lot of other things going on right now, and that's just a little worrying, but like I said, we're just gonna open doors wildly. Hope that the thing about another Esau spawning isn't gonna happen on these early floors. No, it does. I wonder what I did. Because there was... I could have sworn that I just went through a whole bunch of floors without seeing more than one Esau, even though I opened 1,000,000 doors, but I'm really not sure why that happened. I'd love to know, because it does make this challenge significantly easier, because the more you do this, the more of a mess you're creating, and that's just not great. But as you can see, there is a devil deal right here with multi-dimensional baby inside, so can't really complain about such treasures, of course. But I think, given the circumstances here, I might just leave this floor, you know? There is still a shop somewhere out there, but God knows where. The moment we go to the next floor, all the Esau's disappear, our red key is fully charged again, and we have entered a new floor. Worst case scenario, we get a Curse of the Lost. Best case scenario is floors like this, because it is nothing. It's a bunch of nothing, this floor. So, yeah, that would be neat. That is a giant horse pill. Could be a speed down and ruin my life. Could be fun, though. Paralysis. Yeah, it's just really bad. Look at horse pill paralysis. It keeps you standing for a minute. Fistula, that's fine. We have 8 bombs, so that's good. We're gonna get another boss room item. We can explore this floor for a bit immediately without having to use our red key too much, so that's nice. Hopefully we can find like some item rooms, some shops, hopefully. A black candle would just be really nice, because getting cursed on these floors can be just terrible, as you can probably understand. So that'll be neat. We also just don't have Angel Room or Devil Deal chances at all. We just have to find them, either teleport to them or stuff like that. I believe if you get Staircase, and you take the staircase, when you try to leave, it crashes the game. So I'm going to try to avoid doing that. I don't know if that's still true, but it was true for a while there. So hopefully that's no longer the case, but honestly, no idea. Let's just use that. The Hierophant. Stars, full clubs. Yeah, I'll use Ace of Clubs at some point, I'm sure. Genesis is interesting because I think it means that when I get to depths and I just end up in a really bad situation, I can technically probably just use Genesis and go to the next floor. So it's a nice little safety measure there. It makes it a little bit nicer for sure. I really don't have much of a build, so if we can find anything at all, then I'd be happy. Even just bad items. Like, I'm kind of happy with the tarot cards there, just because it at least is a passive item technically. And honestly, that'll have to do for now, because we don't have them. And if we use Genesis, we can turn those passive items into something else. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I don't know if it's going to be good, but at least the more we have, the better our build is going to be when we actually take Genesis. Also, I've had a couple times where I stopped taking damage from mushrooms when they explode, the green gas cloud. And I think it's because of Bob's Curse. I think that apparently just gives you the mushroom poison immunity. And I think there was another item that did that as well. And I genuinely had no idea it did that now, so that's also really nice. Hope to get Bob's Curse more often now, because that actually makes destroying mushrooms a lot more interesting. Especially when you have something like Stompy, you can just stomp over everything and not worry about a thing. You just destroy everything, and it makes life significantly easier. But that is a boon for another day, I would say. Apparently, we're in the top right corner of the map. So we're just going to try and go in this direction, I think, and see if that leads anywhere. I don't know if I should be exploring more around the rooms that didn't require a red key to go into, because we are just kind of in an awkward spot right now. But that's the magic of this challenge. I'm not really using strategy so much as I'm just believing in myself. And so far, these shapes that we're creating are creating good times. And I hope it just leads to more stuff. I just want more stuff, really. I'm just gonna bomb this. I don't want to deal with half of the room. I can deal with half of this room with this build. Having yet another half of it, a little bit too much. So why not make life a little bit easier? We still have a couple bombs remaining. We're not going for secret rooms anyway, so it's all good. Red hearts. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it's not much, but it'll have to do. There's the husk. There is a door on the other side of the boss room as well, so that's really nice. And let's just do that one more time, just for fun. And before you know it, the boss is dead. Who needs a build when you got some bombs? And a red heart container. I mean, that's fine. It's at least some extra health, I suppose, and I can't really complain too much about that. Do gotta move a little bit, though, when dealing with these enemies. Not really used to these enemies when I don't have a build. I should just start practicing with 0 items and see how far I can get so I can learn how to deal with these enemies. But simultaneously, that is a situation that it's just very rare. It's a very rare situation that we're currently in. So I don't really feel like it. We'll just practice on the way in a run where we have a lot of health like this one. Wasn't hoping for yet another one of these rooms, though. Was kind of hoping we'd just start getting more regular caves rooms, because I'm not sure what the odds are of getting one or the other, but honestly, I don't care. I just don't want this. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I just want some good times. But instead, apparently we have reached the mines section of this floor, and it never ends. Which is fair enough, I suppose. All the rooms are adjacent to one another, so it shouldn't be too strange, I suppose, that it is a consistent theme throughout these several rooms here. I just don't care for it, is the thing. These enemies are probably less dangerous while they're in a minecart, aren't they? Because they are just significantly more dependably going in one direction. Kind of appreciate it. Let's keep going. We haven't seen any big rooms at all yet. I don't know if those appear in this. I think they do. Yeah, we've definitely seen a couple, but only in the areas that you haven't entered with a red key, I suppose. Ooh, I don't want to choose between these because they're both very good, but I think if I had to pick... Oh god, that's difficult actually, because we already picked up one part of the Lord of the Flies transformation. Flies are really good, but flames though. Oh, we can take both. Never mind. Okay then. Also, we walked from the top into a thin room, so the door disappeared, which is a little bit less ideal, but we're just gonna have to make a path there. But yeah, that suddenly made our build significantly better than what it was, so that's nice. It also means that I'm not as inclined to use Genesis anymore, because suddenly the build became amazing. That's scary. Ooh, I wonder where Telepills can even take you. And I'm gonna assume that it doesn't take you to red rooms, but I don't know what the deal with that is when they're already opened. I'm never gonna use this Ace of Spades or Ace of Clubs anywhere. Let's just use it there. Gonna go up, just because it's the direction we haven't really gone into. Hoping for the best. Would like to stop seeing pins and seeing more soul hearts. We had a pretty good first floor when it comes to health, and that kinda disappeared on this floor, unfortunately. But look at that. I could go with some luck ups, actually. I would still like to find a shop, but 100 luck ups would also be acceptable. There you go. We still got a couple red key uses before it becomes scary and horrible. So that's good. I kind of want to just loop in on where we started, I suppose. Ooh, that's neat. Did we find any active items on this floor? I don't think we did. No. It actually has been a pretty good floor, comparatively speaking. I mean, no. No, not since the items that we just acquired. Alright, so we made a cool little loop. We can start just opening doors willy-nilly at this point, I suppose. I am actually going to create a path here that requires me to not walk through this. Because I don't want to. I don't want to accidentally reroll my build in a panic. I can see myself doing it. I don't want to see myself doing it, so we're going to make sure that that is as unlikely as possible to happen. By just making sure that's open. Could destroy these, I suppose. Yeah, the downside is, I think the only shop that technically exists is the one that is adjacent to like a non-red room. So, unfortunately, we'd have to explore a little bit more with Isao in our back. And quite frankly, I'm not willing to do that. So, we're just not going to do that. We're going to see if we can maybe get like one more Angel Room or Devil Deal, especially with... that's an arcade room. Something, I suppose. I could check it out. Maybe not. We may be able to get an Angel Room or Devil Deal, like especially with the Soul of Isaac right now. But other than that, I'm not really too interested in anything here. But I am getting in a little bit of a worrying situation, so I might actually just leave. I think there was a card that I kind of still wanted, but Soul of Isaac is, I'd argue, good enough. Curse of the Blind. Cool. I mean, I will still just take items wildly, because quite frankly, I think I kind of have to with the low amount of things that we currently have. We have a build that's entirely sponsored by Flames, and I would like it to be a little bit more versatile than that. Mostly I want to have more health, more damage, more tier rate, more of everything really. Realistically speaking, I just want more than what we currently have. I should just take that. I should definitely take that. That's actually not a bad trinket. I'm thinking of a different trinket, I think. But it's better than nothing. It's an extra fly every now and then, so it's not too bad either way. There's a shop. Look at that. I did say that the shops are a lot better in this. And yeah, this would be what one would call an exception to the rule. This is a terrible shop. I've seen shops with just a whole bunch of things inside them. Maybe I was just like on the luckiest run of my life when I was doing that. That's not bad. Yep, that was to be expected when I picked up a card. That I would then pick up the other one and use the Soul of Isaac on nothing instead. It's fine. It's just a little annoying. God, look at these flies though. They're doing so much work. We at least managed to find a room. We found an item room as well. Would have been kind of okay to have a Soul of Isaac for that, as like a random example of things to have, but it'll do. I wouldn't mind a fly, actually. Just complete that Lord of the Flies transformation. That's also kind of tempting, but that's more just... because I'm a little irritated this run. I'm not gonna lie. It's just... it's being a little irritating, isn't it? It's not really giving me much of anything, and I don't appreciate it. I did a practice run of this, and it just went complete easy street. So far, admittedly, exploration-wise, it has been about as easy as it can get with boss rooms just right next to the start, but... in that run, I don't know what changed, but I wasn't spawning that much. I got a bunch of items. It was easy going all the way around. And this time around, it's just a lot more difficult. We have managed to find the rightmost edge of the map, so that's at least, in terms of exploration, something, technically speaking. It is information about the general floor layout. The size of a map is what, like 14 by 14 or something like that? It might be more or less, I don't fully recall, but either way it's a number times a number. So I don't mind this too much. Gonna go get the... I'm just gonna eat all of these because we are not going to get bad pills. Thanks to that lucky foot, and as you can see, I did not speak a lie. I can also just destroy this. Maybe we'll get like a steam cell. We did not, but it could have technically happened. And I'm mostly going in this direction because I would assume that if I keep 2 rooms, if I stay 2 rooms away from everything that I have already explored, it should likely just lead to more things. Like this was the kind of shops that I was seeing, admittedly without being cursed. Also, that's a steam cell from a shopkeeper, so that's pretty good. But this is like a Tainted Keeper shop right here. Yeah, that was just really nice. That was just a really, really good shop. Can't really complain. I am aware that I dropped Genesis. I'm not doing anything with that information just yet. I wanted to use the eraser on something. I'm not really sure what. You. The answer is you. Not you, the watcher. The viewer, if you will. You, the enemy that I used the eraser on. Back to Genesis. Like, this is a nice instance where if I really have to, I can use Genesis and just leave. We did also just get a whole bunch of items. So it definitely... like, whatever build we get, it's probably going to be alright. Assuming that, like, Curse of the Blind is just go through Genesis and ruin my life. But I'm going to just assume that doesn't happen. I'm also going to go down. And unfortunately, we cannot continue until the hands are dead. Doors do not open. I don't know if you have something like Mercury or something that the doors would open at that point. Would be kind of nice, I suppose. We are going to get a Sow here, unfortunately. But we have a pretty killing build right now, so it's not all bad. It's just a little annoying. Plus, in the early days of this challenge, a Sow could still die and just turn you into the lost. Now it's still a matter of not getting touched by a Sow, but it certainly is a lot more doable that we don't have to worry about that. That's the Scooper. One could call that a waste of space, and that is how I would describe it. However, if anything, we did manage to find some more rooms here. Unfortunately, had we gone down from the start, it would have been a very different experience. But what can you do? What can you do? Hopefully there is a boss room here somewhere. The knife definitely makes this build significantly better. And I can appreciate that much at least. There is a boss. I don't know which one it is. It doesn't have to be Mom rather. Mom's foot. I don't think... sometimes Mom's foot doesn't even appear, I think. The challenge is a little bit odd in that regard, but I mean the whole thing is a little bit odd, isn't it? I could try to avoid taking damage, but it doesn't matter too much at this stage. Now, I don't know what happens if I use Genesis on the next floor, because I think on the next floor is where... what's-her-face mother should be. If I remember correctly. I might be misremembering, but since it's all basically... yeah, I mean, it's the corpse in it. So, I don't know what exactly happens if I use Genesis here. It might just put you in an awkward position where you can't actually win the challenge anymore. But we're gonna maybe find that out if we get yet another one of those situations where I just find a whole bunch of nothing. Maybe this time to start off our exploration. I'm gonna just open one door in every direction from the starting room. And see if perhaps we can just find a nicer direction to go into from the start. Because maybe that's just the way you're meant to do these things. Rather than just going somewhere and hoping. Even though I will say it has worked out decently. But yeah, that does actually lead to yet another room this time around. Don't know if it's guaranteed, but it happened this time. And there is a boss over there. So, you know what? I don't care. Either way, I'm just gonna take it. Is this mother? Yes. With 3 more doors surrounding the room, we have basically full health. I can't really complain. I'm just gonna go doing the boss and call it a run, I think. Hoping I have a stronger knife than mother, of course. We are shooting plenty of flies as well, which are all dealing okay damage. Kind of surprised that missed because I was looking at OBS rather than the video game. But it's going. Let's just say it's going. If I get to like 1 health, I might just use Genesis. There's no real reason not to at least try to see what happens if I really get into a bad situation, but given the large amount of damage that the knife deals, I'm not too worried. Apparently, the knife deals 6 times the damage you usually do if you throw it at max distance. I didn't know that. I was told that very recently. I don't know if it's true. I'm gonna assume it's true because I read it on the internet. And usually is fairly accurate about Isaac when I'm reading about Isaac on the internet. So against a boss like this, I'm not really too bothered about just shooting max distance the entire time. Because it's just a really big boss, isn't it? I assume she'll be dead soon. Just gonna hang out here for a minute. There we go. Left. Right. Middle of the room. This is not a great place for this attack, but it will have to do. Surely you're about to be dead. I've thrown so many knives at you by now. Oh god, what even happened? Did I shoot the tear or something? Because it made it go a little bit odd in a way that I'm not particularly used to. There you go. That is another challenge completed. And it went weird, but it's an odd one. We get the hermit card, the upside down one, which is I think it has some uses. And that is the final repentance challenge completed. We only have ultra hard, back asswards, and glass cannon remaining, and then we'll be done with every single challenge in the game. And I would say that we have completed all but one of the hardest challenges. This one is definitely by far the most difficult one. I think I understand these days how to do it at least, but I'm a little bit concerned about it still, but we'll see about that in the future. Either way, that is that completed. I hope you all enjoyed it. Next time we play, we'll be doing another run with a different character. And I hope to see you all there. Bye-bye.